the same night he was inducted into the Impact Hall of Fame, Shamrock earned his biggest win since his return, and maybe that's why.
Yeah.
And on the plus side, Sami Callihan did interfere for the ending, so Edwards kind of has an out. You know, it wasn't like Ken Shamrock beat him. It was Sami Callihan and Ken Shamrock beat him. So I don't think this is over. So I think they're still going. It didn't make Edwards look too bad at the end, but good match. No, I gave it a C+. I think it was the worst graded match I have on here, to be honest.
It's at the middle of the card where it should be, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess I had a C- on the gauntlet, but when you...
It's the cool down match before the barn burner that's up next.
Oh, such a great match, Pasty. We got the Tag Team Championship 4-way, where the North, Ethan Page and Josh Alexander, ended up winning the title from the Motor City Machine Guns in a match that also included the Good Brothers, who Pasty and I both thought were going to walk away with it, and Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. They'd been building this up for weeks on TV with various matches pitting various members of these teams together. Good shit, good story, good match. The match started even before the bell rang, and this probably my only knock, but I think they made it work with the story. Josh Alexander attacked Alex Shelley before the match even started on the ramp. Gave him a sick-looking pile driver, so it left one half of the champions unable to compete, and Chris Sabin defended the titles on his own in this match. So they're not hurt by losing, I think. And the fact that one of the guys from the winning team did that should continue the feud, is my opinion on this. Sabin was outstanding. He definitely reminded the fans why he belongs where he is. He's one of the best baby faces in company history. The North, I'm a huge fan of the North. I think they remind me of FTR. They're amazing in the ring and they're okay on the mic. But that also reminds me of Arn and Tully.
Right, yeah.
Who I think they're both kind of, or even going back to when we had our underrated factions, the Varsity Club, that had Rick Steiner, that had Dr. Death Steve Williams, that had Mike Rotunda, Kevin Sullivan, who had nothing to do being there, but all of them guys were amazing wrestlers and could put on amazing shows. None of them were really good talkers, except for Kevin Sullivan, who wasn't a wrestler. That's why he was there, so... I love this. I give this an A-. Just fucking awesome. And I think, like I said, I think this sets up the feud to go farther with the Good Brothers. I can't wait for that. I don't even care if the Good Brothers ever beat the North. I like them chasing these two guys. I think will be super fun.
Honestly, going into their next Talking Shop of Mania, it's probably better they don't have the tag titles anyway. You know what I mean?
That's true. We like the underdog, right?
Yeah. Then we had the Knockouts Championship, seeing Su Yung defeating Deonna Purrazzo. Wait, what?
Wait a second.
What about Kylie Rae, here to make her redemption from leaving AEW?
Yeah. Kylie Rae no-showed this match, Pasty, and the worst part was...
She's afraid of Su Yung. That's what it is.
Oh, of course. It's one thing when a talent no-shows a match. That happens. Championship match, it's worse, but it happens. Pay-per-view championship match, even worse, but it happens. But nobody on commentary or in the storyline or anything explained why it was Su Yung versus Deonna Purrazzo and why Kylie Rae wasn't there. That is not cool. That's not cool. Say something. Say Kylie Rae missed a flight. Say Kylie Rae's under the weather. Say Kylie Rae got attacked by Su Yung. Say Kylie Rae is missing and all they seen were, druids in the back and Su Yung, and then Su Yung comes out. Like, it's... I don't like that they didn't mention it. Because it's obvious. We knew it was a match we all expected.
Just like Roman Reigns in WrestleMania, right?
Exactly. But the Virtuosa did issue an open challenge, and out came, to everyone's surprise, mine included, not Susie, but Su Yung, the Undead Bride. She has emerged just weeks after Perazo brutalized her as Susie at Victory Road. So I feel like, I mean, no, I don't feel like. We all know this was what they were planning in the long run, but this probably wasn't where they were planning to pull the trigger. Right, Pasty?
Yeah, which is weird, seeing as this is your WrestleMania.
Yeah. I agree. She wasn't scheduled to be on the card, so it's like, well, yeah, I don't know if maybe they planned for it afterwards or what, but it probably works out better. I love the Su Yung transformation here. In-ring content, fucking strong. Come on, it's Deonna Purrazzo and Su Yung. Nothing to miss out on here. They picked up right where they left off at Victory Road. Susie devolving back into Su Yung. You got the story there. But
plot twist: Su Yung and Eric Young are related.
I can't help but come back to, though, there's people who wanted to see the match of Kylie Rae versus Deonna Purrazzo. Half of the last Impact before this was dedicated to that match. They could have given any explanation. Pissed me off, but Virtuoso appears to be the centerpiece of the Knockouts division, and Su Yung coming back from Susie, that works in storyline, so I am 100% fine with it, and this might be better than what it could have been. I'm just worried that they're going to hot-shot the title unnecessarily and just put it right back on Purrazzo, and they just did it for kind of like a bump, you know what I mean? Like, Purrazzo was supposed to win this from Kylie, but, we got to put in Su Yung. Let's have her win it, and then in 2 weeks, we'll give it back to Purrazzo. I don't want to see that. I want to see Purrazzo chase.
Yeah, definitely. Su Yung is the one who deserves the gold. Can't wait to go back and watch this one.
Very good. And then
the Impact World Championship is on the line as Rich Swann defeats Eric Young to take his rightful place at the top of the show. Yes, allowing me to break the sweep and get a point before the end of this pay-per-view. It was hard fought and well earned.
For sure. Great match here. I mean, I got a lot written here. I could go through it all. But I almost feel, I think I got kind of wordy. I loved it, and I watched it back, and then I kind of wrote everything. I got Young through everything at Swann, but, Swann had the heart and determination. Overcame Young's onslaught. A hell of a main event. He captured his first world championship ever, at least in a major company, Rich Swann. So good for him, especially after the kind of haphazard way WWE exiled him.
Yeah.
Especially after, they didn't even wait for any information to come out for him, and they kicked him out. Black wrestler.
Right. But what about Matt Riddle? I mean, just Riddle. Just Riddle.
Yeah, Matt Riddle ends up having shit put out against him. We haven't heard any definitive shit about him, and they're like, well, we'll just change his name from Matt Riddle to Riddle so that when you Google him, we don't get his sexual misconduct shit come up. White wrestler.
Doesn't Matt Riddle still pop up if you search Riddle? I mean,
I'm assuming a lot of Riddles come up first, I guess. I mean, if you put Riddle Pro Wrestler, obviously you would think he'd pop up. But no, Rich Swann, he overcame his injuries. He had talked about his rough childhood and opened up about, the troubles he had back then, similar to Booker T. He realized his boyhood dream, and you know what? This was so great, but also I think Eric Young, who I've said many, many, many times over, I've never seen as a main eventer, and I still don't. But I thought he was such an amazing heel in this match that he really helped make this win seem better than it could have been against perhaps another wrestler. So, fucking loved this. Gave it an A. Just an awesome match. I recommend anybody, if you're only going to watch one match, go and watch this match. It's just fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I meant to get around to at least watching this one today. It just wasn't in the cards. I'm hoping here that Eric Young keeps the character going forward and doesn't do something stupid like a babyface turn or something.
Yeah, it seems like even though he's been an Impact original and Impact mainstay, nobody's really known how to market him, and this seems to be the best so far. Ooh, excuse me.
Woo!
So, yeah, I'd like to see him keep up with this. I'd like to see this storyline go. Even though I don't consider Eric Young a main eventer, I wouldn't mind Rich Swann beating him one or two more times, and maybe even Eric Young stealing a win or two by nefarious means to keep this going for a little bit and build Rich Swann as a champ. I'm okay with that.
Looking forward to seeing where it goes. So what was your best match of the night?
I got to go with Eric Young versus Rich Swann. I really enjoyed that. I think that is a great professional wrestling match, hands down. And I gave the show as a total a B grade. It was mostly in the upper tier with a couple low spots, and it's Bound for Glory. I think it could have been better. I would expect a Bound for Glory to get an A grade, either A-, A, or A+, but considering the times we live in, a B grade is acceptable for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And that brings us into Sunday's spectacular. I don't know if that's what you'd call it at all. WWE Hell in a Cell. And they fucking flipped the script on us. Well, I guess there was a pre-show match, seeing the 24/7 championship on the line with R-Truth defeating Drew Goo Goo Eyes Gulak.
We like the Goo Goo buddy.
Nice to see Truth defeating or retaining or whatever a championship in a match and not just a backstage segment.
Yeah, but I guess I don't. Was it a match? Do we know? Was it a match in the ring?
It's got a time. If it's got a time, I would assume it's in the ring. They don't time backstage.
They gave a time to the fucking Mojo Rawley and Gronk at WrestleMania, and that was up
busting
in the
it back to Bound for Glory. Did The Rock induct Ken Shamrock during the show, or was that a pre-show thing, or what?
It was on Spike TV free. And also on Impact Plus free previous to the show airing. So, yes, I have not watched it. I want to go back and do it. But from everything I've seen and read, yes, it was on both Spike and Impact Plus free for everyone to watch. So, and that's super smart. You got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson promoting your pay-per-view. You fucking put it out anywhere you can free. It's worth the money.
Next year's Bound for Glory, we're going to see The Rock versus Shamrock. You're a sham.
I could see next year's Bound for Glory have John Cena induct R-Truth.
R-Truth's only there for a month beforehand.
Right. Yeah, you don't have to be there to be inducted, I
guess.
But you probably can't be a WWE contracted guy. Well, then again, wait a second.
WWE would let it happen.
We got to get going. But back in the day when WWE wanted to induct Ric Flair as part of the Four Horsemen, he was contracted to TNA And they got a hold of TNA, and they said, hey, we want to use Ric Flair. And TNA said, well, you got to give us somebody. And Ric Flair's, or WWE